Hello everyone and welcome to the first video of this tutorial series for Farming Simulator 22. In this video we'll cover the machines that you will use to prepare your fields for sowing. This equipment is brought at the beginner price of ranging $10,000 to $20,000. Now, as you can see in the field info box at the bottom right, this field has been harvested and the ground is ready to be turned, so let's get to it. Now, this first machine is the Rabe EG39. This is a German-made cultivator with a width of 2.5 meters. Now, the horsepower requirements are 20 horsepower, so it's not too demanding, and it's a great price for a starting equipment. Here's the close-up of the cultivator so that you can see the teeth of this equipment and get a good understanding of how deep into the soil this equipment will actually go. So note, I am pulling all of this farming equipment with the Fendt 1050. That's just to maintain a standard for comparison. So this is running at about 9 miles an hour with no real stress to the tractor. If you look at the soil that is left behind, you can see a dark, rich soil that is pulled up with this cultivator's design. Now, something that's important to notice before heading to the shop to get one of these for yourself are the amount of small rocks that are left exposed after operating this equipment. And then there's also a small issue of weeds growing, if you see on the bottom right field info box, after using this cultivator. Now, this next piece of equipment is the FarmMax KRG250. Now, this is a Brazilian-made power spader that has a width of 2.5 meters. Now, this same power spader, though, has a very, very hefty price tag. Now, we come over to the shop. The reason why it's so expensive is because it's the cheapest one in its class. Now, this lineup, though, we did have a ceiling of $20,000, but we have a lineup of plow, a cultivator, a disc harrow, a power harrow, a subsoiler, and this spader, but this spader is the only one that broke that ceiling. Alright, let's give it a shot. Nope, I guess it helps if we turn it on, huh? Alright, so here you can see the teeth turning, and you get a pretty good idea of how much earth is really being turned by this machine as it runs. So it cruises at a pretty steady 5 miles an hour. It leaves the same rich dark soil we saw with the cultivator, but if you notice, the stones that are left behind are much easier to spot. So this is because the stones are much larger than the ones that are left behind the cultivator. So if these stones are left on the field, this could cause some heavy damage to your farm equipment. But you know, on the plus side, at least, with it digging so deep, no weeds will really grow in this soil. But if you see here, yeah, those stones are quite a bit larger than the stones you see over here. Alright, so now we're going to shift over to the French Agrism. It's a combi plow, Gold 4M. So like the name implies, it has a span of 4 meters and cultivates below the surface to bring a mixture of what was harvested beforehand and some fresh soil. So this cruises at a smooth 7 miles per hour. And as you can see, this cultivator still goes deep enough to bring small stones to the surface that will need either picked by a stone picker or rolled back into the dirt later. And here you can really see the differences between the coloration. You can see right away is what was previously harvested on this field, and you know what is fresh dirt that was dug up from deep underground. Now all three of these machines will produce stone but only one really leaves behind weeds. Alright, so next up is the Alpego Rodent R-Max 300. So this Italian power harrow is a width of 3 meters and is equipped with fingers that move back and forth to turn the dirt, and a spiked roller to keep the dirt into neat rows. You'll see it rolling right here. Now this cruises at a smooth 7 miles an hour, leaving behind the same mixture of the previous harvest and fresh soil that we saw earlier, but unlike the previous machine, it doesn't leave any stones of any kind. Now, according to the guides for FS22, this should bring weeds up later on, but it actually doesn't, so I would consider that a win. But as you can see, no stones whatsoever. Alright, and then next up is the Alpego Maratona MG300. This model is also 3 meters wide, but is just a disc harrow, and it's not powered by a motor like its sister model, the R-Max 300, which we just saw. But it is sitting at a $3,000 higher price tag than this other model. Which you would think would be weird because it doesn't seem to have a motor, but in the gameplay it does kind of make sense. It sports a disc underneath that will turn with the tractor, and the reason why it makes so much sense is because it just breezes by at 11 miles an hour. But it does leave behind the same scene as the power harrow, so no rocks, no stones to be picked or pushed into the dirt, and no weeds later on. Definitely a plus on both ends. And of course, lastly, the trusty plow. So this is an Agro Maz POV 5XL. So this sports 5 teeth on either side for a total of 2.5 meters in width. Now there are a few special features to this plow that will allow you to work more comfortably and freely depending on your game style. The first of which is rotating the plow. So this feature allows for an easier, more precise corner if you're turning left or right. And the second of which is the ability to create fields. So this is an ability that is unique to the plow. Now this could be toggled on and off at will. You don't have to all the time have it on or all the time have it off. And as you can see, I'm utilizing a PC, so mine is just with the Y. You can toggle that on and off. Now you cannot rotate your plow while you're actively plowing, so you'll have to stop and raise your plow, then rotate it to the desired position. You may then lower your plow and be right back on your way. Now, because of the depth that is being turned, the plow does produce stones that have to be dealt with later. But they're just small stones, so you can always just use a roller to put them back into the soil later. And you don't have to use a stone picker like you do with the larger stones on the second machinery that we saw earlier in the video. But again, the dark, rich soil that we saw on the first two over here, you see in this last one, it just looks really nice. Alright, so here's all the 6 different types of soil movers that are offered by FS22, and I hope you liked this video and found it educational. Now if you did, please leave a like, and if you'd like to continue to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing to my channel and hitting that bell icon so you don't miss any videos that are upcoming. So until next time, this is Marauder, signing off.